Live from KSAT 12, the news at 5:30 starts right now.
2 people were shot and 2 minors are in custody after what San Antonio police are calling a botched drug deal. It happened at a shopping center on Blanco Road near Lock Hill, Selma, just after noon. This is video from the front of one of those stores. You can see the glass broken in. Police say the drug deal was between 1 person and 3 minors. That single person and one of those minors were both shot. The other 2 minors are the ones in custody. We don't know of any charges, nor do we know the condition of the people who were shot. Well, in just the last week, the Texas Department of Public Safety troopers with Operation Lone Star apprehended more than 300 people. All of them were attempting to illegally cross the U.S.-Mexico border in South Texas. When a person's found attempting to illegally cross the border, they're typically taken to an Immigration and Customs Enforcement detention facility. As more people are taken in by authorities, we asked how South Texas migrant detention centers are preparing for any potential influx.
Normally, we have influxes in waves. So usually summertime is our heaviest time. Right now at the moment, because of certain policies and procedures that we have in place, the influx has not happened yet. So we're prepared for anything as of this moment.
We'll hear more from Director Sylvester Ortega in a detention preparation story tonight on the Night Beat. Well, as people in Georgia and the Carolinas continue to rebuild after Hurricane Helene, Floridians prepare for another storm to sweep through. Hurricane Milton traveling east from the Gulf of Mexico, headed right for the Florida Panhandle. Meanwhile, President Biden announcing the deployment of 500 additional active duty troops to western North Carolina. That's on top of 1,000 deployed earlier this week. As ABC's Ike Ajachi reports, the Pentagon says the soldiers are working with FEMA, the National Guard, and state officials in the recovery from Helene.
People across the Sunshine State are once again filling sandbags and stocking up on supplies as another hurricane approaches the Florida peninsula.
And now we're back in worry.
Anywhere from 1 to 7 inches of rain is expected to fall before Milton arrives, likely bringing another 3 to 7 inches. Flooding, again a major concern. The governor declaring a state of emergency in at least 35 counties and is reminding everyone to heed evacuation orders.
If you're in a structure and you're hunkered down with the wind, you may be able to get through that fine. It is possible. But when you have that surge, there's just it's Mother Nature, and you're not going to win that.
As Florida prepares for another direct hit, several states are still dealing with Helene's tragic aftermath. In western North Carolina, downed trees, mudslides, and washed out bridges have stranded residents.
Where's the help? There's people up there with no food, no water, no power.
North Carolina officials say FEMA has paid survivors more than $27 million. ABC's Gio Benitez is in the remote town of Batcave, which was decimated by Helene.
And I want you to see what's happening with this house here. It appears that this home was completely moved off its foundation. You see the chimney here. This is the chimney that's really in the ground, and there's the rest of it.
FEMA says they are continuing to move critical resources into areas where they're needed.
It's going to take time to repair the infrastructure and get access to all of the roads in the communities that either have limited access or no access at all.
More than 750 FEMA personnel and over 1,500 North Carolina National Guardsmen, as well as first responders from across 34 states, are on the ground helping with the recovery. Ike Ajachi, ABC News, New York.
Yep, 2 major and highly impactful storms impacting parts of the southeast just within 2 weeks' time. I want to show you the latest on Hurricane Milton that is turning over the southwestern Gulf of Mexico this Sunday evening. It is a hurricane, sustained winds at 85 miles per hour, starting to work its way farther off to the east at 7 miles per hour. This is not going to impact the state of Texas. It is moving away from the Lone Star State, but because it's turning over the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico, it is expected expected to rapidly strengthen into a major hurricane, potentially by late tomorrow night and into Tuesday, then working its way eastward and making landfall along the western portions of Florida by Wednesday itself as well. So, of course, yes, storm surge, flooding rains, high winds, all going to be a concern for the state of Florida as it nears the coastline. 5 to 10 inches of rain will be possible in localized locations by the time all is said and done. So we'll continue to keep you posted on that. But in the meantime, back here at home, the exact opposite is expected. In fact, record challenging heat will still be a possibility locally over the next few days. And let's go ahead and take a look outside with live cam because we've seen plenty of sunshine out there today. Our official high temperature just 1 degree shy of the existing record high here in San Antonio. But we'll tell you what those afternoon temperature trends look like, plus at least some cooler mornings on the way. Those details coming up in just a few, Court.
All right, thanks so much, Mia. To politics now. Are you registered to vote? If you're not, you have just one more day. The deadline is tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock. And it's easy to register. You just submit your voter registration application in person at the Bexar County Election Department office on Frio Street. The department is also extending its hours ahead of the deadline. They will be open from 8 o'clock Monday morning until that 7 p.m. deadline. And once you're registered, you can vote early or wait for Election Day, which is November 5th. Early voting starts October 21st and runs through November 1st, and that includes the weekend. Registered voters can vote at any polling site during the early voting period. We have a list of those locations on our website right now, as well as a breakdown of how to get registered, how to check if you're already registered, and even some ballot information. You can find it all on our Vote 2024 page on our website, KSAT.com. Coming up, pop culture playing a part in the election. For 50 years, SNL has parodied candidates in election years. Coming up, an up-close look at how Saturday Night Live could shape elections. Satire has played a crucial role in political discourse for centuries, but since 1975, Saturday Night Live has been at the forefront of political parody, often defining popular perception of those in or seeking power. Now in its 50th season, the creative minds in Studio 8H are at it again. Reporter Julia Benbrook is in New York with a look at how SNL could shape politics.
From Gerald Ford
Hello.
to Joe Biden.
Well, guess what? And by the way,
And nearly every leading political figure in between. Saturday Night Live has provided definitive impersonations for decades.
I think you've now got, 3 or 4 generations of people who have grown up watching Saturday Night Live, and the expectation is that Saturday Night Live is going to comment on the campaign.
Those caricatures often shaping popular perception.
It is a sort of reinforcement mechanism. They pick out, just a few mannerisms and they drive them into the ground.
It's a phenomenon some have dubbed as the SNL effect, which the University of Missouri's Bill Horner says can have a lasting impact on how politicians are viewed and remembered, for better or for worse.
Strategery. The lockbox.
In its 50th season debut, SNL still true to form, lampooning the 2024 candidates. Comedians Maya Rudolph and James Austin Johnson reprising their roles as Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump.
My campaign is like the Sabrina Carpenter song, Espresso. The lyrics are vague, but the vibe slaps.
I see you trying to leave, but the doors are locked. Come on back, we're having fun.
SNL creator and showrunner Lorne Michaels says there's an important role for satire in politics, telling Horner he views SNL as the court jester or pressure valve.
Satire and parody give people that opportunity to have a release from the tension.
The season premiere also featured the vice presidential candidates, Governor Tim Walz, played by comedian Jim Gaffigan, and Senator J.D. Vance, played by SNL cast member Bowen Yang. No word yet on if this weekend's cold open will be a parody of Tuesday night's debate. In this election cycle, there's no doubt a lot of material to choose from. Reporting in New York, I'm Julia Benbrook.
So I just peeked at the radar, Mia. There's like a little bit of green, but
just a little bit.
It's pretty far out, too.
And it's not here in San Antonio. We just have a 10% chance for a stray shower in the forecast, generally through about 8 to 9 p.m. this evening. Really, the folks that have been able to cash in on some of this activity, lucky folks across the southern Edwards Plateau, near and north of Del Rio, even have an isolated shower right now that's just to the north of Brackettville. Any of this is not amounting to much. Again, coverage very, very low this Sunday evening. It's generally working its way farther off to the west, and we'll just keep that 10% chance in the forecast through about 8 to 9 o'clock. I am glad that at least a few very isolated areas have managed to find a quick shower today, because notice as we take a look at the upcoming work week, rain chances are unfortunately out of the picture, and focus is still going to be on hotter than average, record challenging afternoons. But at least we will start to see some drier air work in yet again, and that will lead to some pleasant mornings. We'll have more on that in just a second. That all started with this afternoon. We had an official high temperature of 94 degrees here in San Antonio. That is well above the average by almost 10 degrees. The average for this time of year is 85, the record 95. So we were just 1 degree shy of that. That record was set back in 1931. Tomorrow we are still expecting mid-90s, and that will carry over through much of this week as well. At least for our Monday, we should sit well south of the existing record high of the day, which is actually near the century mark. But we will be in that record challenging territory by Tuesday and into Wednesday, with those high temperatures still situated right around 95 degrees here in the Alamo City. But I did mention that we are expecting some of that drier air to work in. That's what helps when coupled with some sunshine, those afternoon temperatures to climb into the 90s, but it also will bring us some pleasant mornings. So let's go ahead and talk about that setup. High pressure in control right now, which is why much of the Lone Star State is quiet. There actually is a weak frontal boundary, though, that started to dip its toes into parts of the Texas Panhandle. That is expected to work its way farther off to the south into tomorrow, and especially by Tuesday. It introduces more of those northerly winds in the upper levels of the atmosphere here at home. So really, all it's going to do is just bring us some of that drier air, but it also is one of the reasons why Hurricane Milton is expected to be picked up and move away from the state of Texas. Again, that system making landfall in Florida likely on Wednesday. But let's go ahead and talk about those cooler morning low temperatures that are headed our direction. Very similar to what we saw earlier this morning. That's what's in store first thing tomorrow. Still above average to kickstart our Monday, with the low temperature right around 70 degrees here in San Antonio. But as we really start to feel the effects from that lower humidity, low to mid 60s are in the forecast by Wednesday. That carries over into the second half of the work week and even into next weekend as well. So we'll continue to keep you posted on that in the days ahead. In the meantime, here's tomorrow morning, mid to upper 60s in and around the San Antonio area, potentially a few low 60s across portions of the hill country. Like today, plenty of sunshine throughout the first half of the day, 88 degrees around lunchtime. Then partly cloudy skies take over into the afternoon, a high temperature right around 95 again. Unfortunately, no chance for rain in the forecast over the next 7 days. Still expecting those hot afternoons, but at least we have those cooler mornings in the forecast, Court.
Take what we can get.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Mia. Mary, we know some Texans fans are pretty happy.
Yeah, great win today for the Texans against a tough Buffalo Bills team. They're 4-1 after defeating Buffalo. Kaimi Fairbairn is Houston's Week 5 hero. Plus, despite being on a bye, Texas jumps to #1 nationally after Bama falls to Vanderbilt. College football talk when we come back.
I feel a sense of calmness when I'm out there, when I'm walking out. And I think that's just from preparation. And then when it comes off my foot, it's not up to me anymore. I did all I could, and had a nice little cut on that one that went through. I'm thankful, and then it's just celebration. Enjoy it with my teammates.
Texans kicker Kaimi Fairbairn lifts his team to victory after drilling this 59-yard field goal, making franchise history along the way in big board sports. Well, the Houston Texans are without their top 2 running backs entering a Week 5 tilt against the Buffalo Bills. Didn't matter on the Texans' first scoring drive, though. Dare Ogunbowale racks up the yards after catch, going 28 yards down the sideline for a big gain. A few plays later, Cam Akers scores from 15 yards out to give Houston the 7-3 lead. Texans force a 3-and-out. First play of the following drive, C.J. Stroud throws a deep ball over the middle to Nico Collins for a 67-yard score. However, Collins would leave the game after this play with a hamstring injury. Texans led 17-3 at halftime. Third quarter, Kaimi Fairbairn attempts the 47-yard field goal. No doubt about that one, as Fairbairn becomes the Texans' all-time leading scorer. And he wasn't done. Later in the frame, Bills scored touchdowns on back-to-back drives, including this 49-yard TD connection from Josh Allen to Keon Coleman. Fourth quarter, Houston in trouble after turning the ball over on back-to-back possessions by interception and fumble. All square at 20 points apiece. Buffalo gives up the ball with 7 seconds left in regulation. Ogunbowale gets the Texans in field goal range, and for the win, Fairbairn nails the 59-yarder. He is now the all-time leader in points in the franchise with 773. As Houston takes care of business at home, 23-20, the final over the Bills. Texans have yet to win convincingly this season, but they've done just enough to improve to 4-1. Stroud had 331 yards on 28 of 38 passing and 1 TD pass. Here's head coach D'Amico Ryans following the win.
Felt really good in the first half, like no penalties. We played clean, no sacks. Like, man, we were humming there in the first half, and then come back out. Third quarter, I think I know we took a step in that third quarter, our offense being able to go down, and we were able to get points there. That was a step forward for us. We got better. But just the penalties, right? Again, like we had a costly penalty there, hitting the quarterback to give them, better field position. And that was third quarter wasn't who we are. But I really, really love the way our guys stepped up in the fourth.
All right, some other NFL scores from today. The Jaguars get their first win of the season, 37-34 in a divisional game against the Colts. Texans have a 2-game lead in the AFC South now. And in London, the Vikings are the first of 5 wins in the league, defeating the Jets 23-17. Also, rookie QBs leading their team to victory today. Caleb Williams leads the Bears over the Panthers, and Washington's Jaden Daniels shines in a triumph over Cleveland.
2-2 is not acceptable for us. So it's about finding a way to win, starting this Sunday, and moving forward one game at a time. And like you said, from the good and the bad, being able to take everything from this first 4 games and put it forward in this one and so forth.
Tonight, the Dallas Cowboys are in Pittsburgh with 9 days of rest after defeating the G-Men in Week 4 on Thursday night. Dallas is without some key players. Brandon Cooks was ruled out with a knee infection. Micah Parsons is out with a high ankle sprain. The list truly goes on, and the action goes down at 7:20 tonight. The 2-2 Cowboys at the 3-1 Steelers. We'll have highlights and postgame on Instant Replay. The AP Top 25 college football poll saw quite the shakeup this week. Texas returned to number 1 despite having an off week following Vanderbilt's monumental upset of Alabama, which caused the Crimson Tide to drop from number 1 to number 7. Texas A&M experienced the biggest rise after upsetting number 9 Missouri. The Aggies are now 15th in the nation. And that leads us into your Instant Replay poll question for tonight. Who would you rather have start on Saturday when Texas plays Oklahoma at the Cotton Bowl? Quinn Ewers or Arch Manning? Right now, Ewers is scheduled to start. Vote now. You can use that QR code on the screen, and we'll have the results during Instant Replay tonight. The Spurs open up their preseason schedule tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the evening against OKC. Chris Paul, Victor Wembanyama, Zach Collins, David Duke Jr., Charles Bassey, and Devin Vassell, who is injured, will not be suiting up. Exciting stuff. NBA is almost back.
Oh, my God. It's so crazy to think that it is, but we're ready for it.
Yes.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
All right, temperatures right now still in the warm upper 80s and low to mid 90s. In and around the San Antonio area, officially at 91 degrees here in San Antonio. It's 92 in Seguin, 90 over in Canyon Lake, and 92 as well out west in Uvalde. We're going to start off tomorrow right around 70 degrees. Warmer than average highs continue throughout the vast majority of the upcoming work week. That will be challenging records for a few afternoons, but at least those mornings will trend cooler in the refreshing low to mid 60s, even into next weekend. So at least we have that to look forward to.
30-degree difference. What is happening?
Dry air.
All right, we'll take it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you back here at 10.